We all know that stocks are useful for intraday trading, and you can do this with securities like these. But what we also know about mutual funds is that mutual funds are securities that are underwritten by our fund manager. Along with his expertise and knowledge, we buy that unit and invest in mutual funds. We know about stocks. We know about mutual funds. The good characteristics of these two are that they take the facility of intra-trading in stocks and invest in any fund schemes through their expertise through the fund manager in mutual funds. Combining these two, we are going to find out whether there is any trading facility or any option that combines these two things. Today, we are going to watch this video and find out what I am going to say. Just like exchange-traded funds, we have learned about stocks and mutual funds. Today, through this video, we will learn what exchange-traded funds actually mean. So, what are stocks? What are the differences between mutual funds and how many types of ETFs are there? What are the advantages of ETFs and what are the risks involved? How to see the actual income we get from them in terms of taxation? What are the things to look for when choosing an ETF and how to open an account and trade the ETF? So, as mentioned earlier, exchange-traded funds have two important things. The first is that they are listed on a stock exchange like stocks and shares, so you can do trading things like buying and selling them during market hours. The second is passive management. Just as a mutual fund is managed by a fund manager, exchange-traded funds also have a fund manager who passively manages these particular funds through their expertise. Now let's find out how ETFs work. So the way ETFs works is very simple. So these ETFs are first of all we have to choose a market index to create. So this index can be in terms of technology stocks or it can be based on the price of gold. So an index is selected based on the investment strategy that suits the fund manager or their financial goals. After choosing this fund is created in such a way that the same level of security related to this index is in the same proportion as in the ETF and it is divided into units and sold to us. So how can we buy and sell stocks on the stock exchange? This particular unit is created based on a stock index. You can also buy and sell that particular unit on the stock exchange through the ETF facility. And finally, ETS is also a net asset value. If not, the difference here is that the net asset value of these keeps changing based on demand and supply. So, since it changes so dynamically, we know that ETSs are a good and interesting option. But the next thing is what is the difference between stocks and ETFs? Stocks are stocks of the same company, but if you invest in an ETS, it has the characteristics of a mutual fund. So, if you invest in an ETF at the same time, your share in many types of stocks in many types of companies is your value. It is diversified so the risk is also more diversified for you through this option. And secondly, what is the difference between mutual funds and ETFs is that mutual funds can be bought and sold on a daily basis based on the net asset value, but here ETFs in market hours you do not need to wait until the end of the day. You can trade like stocks in market hours. And secondly, the expense ratio. Every mutual fund has an expense ratio for managing some operating expenses. What does the fund mean? The fund takes up to this percentage of what you invest. That ratio is very low when compared to ETFs. However, how many types of ETFs are there in ETFs? There are 4 important types of ETFs: Gold ETF, Equity ETF, DFE ETF, and International ETS. Gold ETF we can understand from the name rather than investing in physical gold. If you hold the physical form of ETF or gold in electronic form, then the risks that come with holding it physically are not there and you also get tax benefits. Secondly, equity ETFs follow the index like Nifty 50 or Sensex in equity ETFs and create such a scheme. However, if you invest in these schemes, the goal is to increase your assets in the long term. I think I should take a little less risk. I want to get steady income. That is, there is a particular solution for that is, debt ETFs. So these particular debt ETFs are mostly made by investing in government bonds and corporate bonds because here a stable income is available and the risk is also very low. These are not what you want to do if you want to invest in that stock not in our domestic market but in the international market. There is a category of ETFs for that too, namely international ETFs, through which you can also enter the international market. So many types of ETFs are available to us. If not, what are the benefits of ETFs? The first is liquidity. Usually, if you invest in mutual funds, there is a period, which means you cannot do intraday trading. If you invest in an ETF, unlike this, the liquidity is higher. You can sell it whenever you want. This is the first. The second is that you have more accessibility. If you invest in a gold ETF, the risk of different types of gold stocks is diversified. So this accessibility is that if you invest in a gold ETF, it is divided into 10 types. So that accessibility is there. Next, transparency. Every ETF shows their holdings very transparently every day. So because of this, you can easily know where the investments are being made and how the money you have invested is going. And the last one is very cost-effective. Effectively, compared to other mutual funds, I said earlier that the expense ratio is low. The average expense ratio for other mutual funds is 2%. In terms of ETFs, you start from 0.3 to 5%, so it is that low. What are the risks involved in these exchange-traded funds? So the first thing is market risk. Since we form an ETF based on a market index, the market index is subject to market fluctuations. So it is important to remember that ETFs are largely subject to market fluctuations. Next, tracking error is when the ETFs we invest in deviate from the performance of the market index. That is, the performance is one way, it goes in another way. If it does not perform in the same direction, we call this tracking error. So here, since we follow the index, any performance deviation from it will result in tracking error. The third thing is liquidity risk. It is said that liquidity is a good thing, but some types of ETFs have very low liquidity. Compared to the liquidity of a large number of stocks, ETF liquidity is a little less. Some specified ETFs have very low liquidity, so you should also take this into account when choosing. Next, currency risk. As I have said so far, through international ETFs you invest your money in international markets, so you will also have to face risks from currency fluctuations, exchange rate fluctuations, and finally, what is the risk in ETFs? That is, panic selling or buying without knowing it, so price movements change from time to time. So if speculative activities happen here, people suddenly buy without knowing it. They are selling out of fear, so you should move forward very carefully, keeping in mind that such things can also happen. It is very important for all of us to know how to pay tax on the income generated from it. Similarly, after you invest your money in an exchange-traded fund, what kind of income will come from it? There are two types of income. So the first one is that if you invest in these debt funds or in that particular ETF where dividends are coming, then the dividend that comes will come as an income for you. And the second is that when you want to sell the ETF, you will have to pay capital gains tax on the profits made on it. First, if you are earning dividends, these dividends are considered in this head of your income, then we will club it under the income from other sources in the last head, and your tax slab will be you will have to pay tax based on the tax rate that applies to you. This is the first and second capital gains. In capital gains, we have short-term and long-term. If you sell the ETF within 1 year, it will be classified under short-term capital gains. If it is more than 1 year, it will come under long-term capital gains. However, if it comes under short-term capital gains, you will have to pay 15% capital gains tax.